Well, I don't certainly remember this being in the travel brochure. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Doom 3 walkthrough with commentary, and we have arrived in Hell. The last place I ever expected to be in a Doom game, duh. And immediately off the bat, we're going to start by picking up a couple of weapons. Reclaim our pistol and our shotgun. We've lost pretty much all of the ammo and all of the weapons that we collected in the Union Aerospace Corporation, but thankfully, they left us some emergency rations here at the start of the level. So, our only way through is forward, and we do have a mission this time, in the pits of hell. We have to locate the Soul Cube. Even though he said it was hidden, he would never find it, but let's just enter this not-so-ominous looking teleporter, and see where it takes us. Oops, well, this may be a problem. Maybe they could have sent me a lift or something. I mean, this might work as well. I don't know why the screen zooms in. All of a sudden, I tried to say the words screen and zoom in at the same time, but it didn't exactly work out. I don't know why it zooms in right there. I guess it's meant to scare you, but it's not entirely effective. But once you take that little cage ride downwards, you get surrounded by a trio of imps who are guarding a shotgun. So, in case you missed the first shotgun, don't worry. There's always a second one which you can collect, and I do believe if you look around this area you can find a little stash of armor shards back here. Don't know so much about health kits in this area, but considering the fact that we are in hell, there aren't any health stations to avail us with in terms of our medical needs. So, thankfully, the hell people left us a whole bunch of health kits, so let's go look for health kits. Come, Silent Walrus, let us enter the castle. By the way, one thing you may have noticed so far is the fact that I have been sprinting indefinitely. If you look at the sprint meter, it's actually sort of covered in fire right now, and that indicates that you have infinite sprint in this level, which is a very nice gesture of the developers. So over there is a Hell Baron. As you may know, at the end of the previous level, we fought two of these, and we had a BFG 9000. Now we're fighting one of these, and we have a pistol and a shotgun. But thankfully, since the shotgun deals reasonable damage at close range, then you can just kill them in a couple of shots, and weaken them with the pistol if you so desire, as long as you aim for them head shoots. So then, we're up against the Hell Barons once more, and just to give you another little bit of a briefing on what they are capable of, they're basically stronger imps, only they aren't quite as agile. They walk at a pretty reasonably fast pace, which is obviously something to bear in mind because they are rather huge. Nothing that big should move that fast, as indicated by some people. And their fireballs pretty much can kill you in 2 shots on this difficulty, so don't get hit by those. Instead, just sort of move out of the way because they can be pretty easy to track. And I think you may be able to destroy them with certain weapons, although I need to confirm it by actually shooting at them actively, and I might just not be very adequate at that. So, that area is where we need to go, but first of all, if you want to look at this completely dark area, pick up a chainsaw. I don't know why it's there, I don't know why it's completely invisible either, but there you go. As long as you pick up the chainsaw, everything's gonna be A-okay. And we have to enter these little side compartments because they effectively act as a giant key towards the doors which we need to enter through in order to progress through the level. But do just a little bit of corner creeping now and then. This area actually doesn't spawn any enemies. Instead, it just contains a chain gun, including some extra ammo inside that little hole right there. And this hole has a whole bunch of health kits. I mean, it's just really considerate that Hell's Legion just left us a whole bunch of health kits in the event where things went disastrous. But I'm gonna stand in this doorway because Lost Souls don't know how to charge through doorways, and exploit their AI. Okay, that just simply should have hit in the first place, but it didn't. I don't know why. Thanks, Doom 3. Let me just mend my wounds real quick. And let's get a move on with the level towards the deadly bottomless pit. And some power-ups right here if you need them. Like, in terms of the design of Hell, this is probably the most memorable sequence of the whole game. Probably what everyone liked most when they played Doom 3. And I can see why. It's, debatably probably the most difficult level in the whole game, especially when you aren't quick-saving. Because there are just instances like this where you're running over bottomless pits and they're throwing lost souls at you. So, if you want to make this area a little bit easier for yourself, as soon as you hear the sound of something like a snake hissing, that indicates that there are going to be lost souls. But if you've made it this far, and you're still scared, then you can always just sprint forward towards their spawn location and just kind of hope you don't get hit. However, I'm going to take my chances and stand here. So hopefully my pistol shots will be reasonably accurate. That's the odd thing about hitting Lost Souls with the pistol bullets, is that you kinda have to aim a little bit below their hitbox in order for the bullets to connect. It's kind of a strange one. There are going to be 2 more Lost Souls in this area. There's just one to the right, and there's also one to the left where you may be able to alert it by looking through this cage. And there we go, it's on the move. Come on, buddy. Just a little bit more. Hey! No hugs today, thank you. So, this area can actually be a little bit terrifying if you stare too close at the fine details of these bars. That closes the gate, and that releases a Hell Knight. But thankfully, since we have a chain gun now, it makes the situation a little less spooky. Because as long as you just continuously aim for headshots, you can kill them without wasting an entire belt. It's a fair number of bullets, sure, but at least you're still going to be reserving a little bit of extra ammunition, and they give you quite a reasonable amount of chain gun ammo on this level to begin with, so I wouldn't be too concerned about using the chain gun against Hell Knights. Or just about anything, really. In fact, this level, believe it or not, marks the return of the Mancabuses, or the Mancabi. So, if you're looking for good candidates of chain gun destruction, then I would recommend you use them against those targets. Run over here if you want to watch the physics engine in action and the skeleton pops down. Maybe I just push him in to the lava rocks just to make noise, just going back out. I could be at this all day, really. There we go. That's sort of the original position in which he flopped over. So, one thing I really dislike about this level is when you're attempting to go after as many enemy kills as possible. And there are some enemies which, by killing them too early, causes other enemies to stop spawning, which are namely these enemies right here. These cherubs, there are about like 5 of them, I want to say, that spawn in this place. However, if you decide to go after the Mancubus early, you may only face down against 1 or 2 of them. So, they repeat this, I want to say, maybe once or twice throughout, like 2 or 3 times throughout the level, so just to ensure that you kill as many enemies as possible, that Mancubus probably won't reach you for a while, but he can easily trap you if you decide to retreat back to the original areas where you emerged from, so just kind of keep him locked in this section where he's walking towards you, very, very slow and steadily, and you should make it out of that situation A-okay. And look at that, we get another ammo box for our troubles. So, let's pick up these plasma, grab that plasma gun, and take a trip down the elevator.
Death will not be your end. Your soul will burn in hell forever.
Hey, Betruger, as long as I'm in the same vicinity as you forever, I don't have a complaint in the world, because you're just the best character in this entire universe. Okay, we've reached the Catacombs, and we discover the second instance of the Berserker power-up. We have not seen one of these since level 10, I want to say? So, it's good to see it in action once again, and in this area you will be facing a whole bunch of imps instead of zombies, which is a bit different, but they also toss in a couple of Hell Barons, I want to say. Yeah, Hell Barons, Hell Knights, Hell Barons. In this game, they're basically the same thing. In the original Doom games, the Baron of Hell was from the first game, and it was probably one of the tougher monsters. You faced 2 of them as bosses in the first episode, I believe. And in this game, in Doom 2 anyway, Hell Knights were just reskins of Hell Barons, only they had much less health, and I think they dealt a little less damage. In this case, they're just kind of a combination of both. Also, Hell Barons and Imps are colored slightly more red in Hell. It's an interesting cosmetic detail, and I don't know why they would change that to begin with, but there you go. It's just one of those little things that makes the level stand out a bit. If you follow this little trail of symbols, then you can actually reach your intended destination, where we can find the only personal data assistant in the entire level, which speaks of a Dr. Simon Garlick. And he actually has in his emails, I believe, an explanation as to why you have infinite sprint in this level, which is a little bit of backstory or historical stuff if you want to get into that. Anyhow, we just recollected our rocket launcher, and this rocket launcher is gonna be useful a little bit later. I think I'm gonna stick to using the chain gun for the time being. Once you move towards that pendulum, that's only going to cause the walls to close behind you, and that spawns some rather scary Mancabuses over on the ledges. The first one may be considerably more dangerous compared to the second one, who spawns from a bit of a further distance, and sometimes he may just try shooting at you while the pendulum is dropping down, and yeah, you might get hit by a surprise fireball when you least expect it. By the way, standing under that instantly kills you. I should know, because I've tried. And I'm gonna make a quick save here, because the last time I was playing this level, my spacebar decided to stop cooperating, and I dropped into the pits, and I died. Don't be deaded like me. So, let's just move on forwards, avoid the lost souls for just a little bit of time. I'm gonna have this one chase me back here, because it's just a safer place in general to deal with these kinds of situations. And keep rising up the catacombs, where we should encounter a couple more imps. And we're also going to pretty much stockpile on plasma gun ammo once again. In fact, I think that actually spawned another mancubus down there. I'll take care of that in a second. First of all, I have to get rid of this lovely... Okay, you decide to jump over there. That's an interesting tactical choice. I won't question it. It's your choice, not mine. So, if you want to make these decisions, hey, I don't got a problem with that. Since I haven't had a chance to use the plasma rifle against a mancubus, I think now might be a decent time. Like, he's not really doing a whole lot in his current situation, aside from occasionally shooting at me. But then again, that's just because I'm stupid and I don't know how to move and shoot guns simultaneously. Just like how I don't know how to use a flashlight and guns simultaneously. Yeah, another detail. You don't get a flashlight in this level. Everything's gonna be pitch black. So, just... if you want to use... I guess you could sort of use the plasma rifle as a makeshift flashlight because it does kind of glow against some surfaces, but you have to be super close. Anyway, I'll jump down here just to pick up some extra ammunition. There may be some items over on the adjacent rock compared to this platform, but I think it might just be health kits or armor shards, so I'm simply not going to bother with that. Boink! There we are. I didn't fail the jump this time, guys. Don't worry. I'm learning from my previous mistakes. So, let's head back up the stairs. Possibly listen to a little bit of monk chanting now and then. And enter this place. And this place has got stairs. And an imp. Very spooky, right guys? Because imps are still fairly scary. This door actually is a point of interest, because once you open it up, the game tries to sort of catch you by surprise by spawning in a whole bunch of lost souls, and they charge towards you without mercy, but we got a triple kill right there with our shooting, because the pellet spread is ridiculous enough for that to work, and we're going to cause these two guys to jump out of the shadows, including a third imp once you run back in this place. So, that's the reason why I moved backwards, and ow, you hit me. It was very rude of you. I do not like my rude imps. You should treat me with more respect, I demand. Okay, let's gonna move on forwards. I believe walking across this bridge should cause a couple of lost souls to appear, including that guy who I nearly forgot about, but don't worry, I remembered at the last second. I took that hit intentionally, and descend down this little staircase over to this little lava side where you could collect a spare plasma gun and a little bit more ammo. Just want to make sure I have as much ammo as possible. That noise only exists to scare you at first, but I think they may spawn a couple of lost souls once you move forward over here. Yeah. But the plasma rifle can kill a lost soul in 2 plasma ball shots, so it's not a big deal. So, here's an area where you can actually encounter a completely optional type of enemy. You see, we could just walk straight through these doors and not have a thing to worry about, but if you're so greedy and desperate enough for this box of ammo back here, you hear a noise, and that causes zombies to spawn. This is a new zombie type. They are lacking in clothing, they shamble towards you slightly faster compared to the average zombie, and they have slightly more health compared to the average zombie. That's it, that's all they do. And they only appear in this level of the game. So once more, a special type of zombie exclusive to a single level. I don't know why, but I really wish they would use some of the resources they have available to them, just so that way it would make the zombies a little bit more intimidating in some places. Because those guys having extra health can actually be a bit of a problem. That's a point that I will strongly defend. Anyhow, okay, there you go. There's your confirmation that you can destroy those plasma balls using your bullets, your bullet spraying devices. Wow, I'm not hitting a single lost soul with this. Just give me a sec. I'll get it eventually. I'm actually taking my time right here, because I believe if you move forward in this section, and if you walk through this door, that should cause this Hell Knight to spawn, and any Hell Knight that is capable of instantly attacking you as soon as it sights you is incredibly scary. Like, there is one singular enemy placement in this level which I have some very select words that I wish to speak on when it comes to discussing. Why would the developers place you right there so that way you can instantly attack without any time for the player to react, and this guy spawning behind you can go screw himself. Seriously, eat those 3 rockets, get out of here. Hell Knights have slightly less health compared to Mancabuses, so you can effectively kill them in 3 rocket launcher headshots if your aiming is relatively precise. So, just bear that in mind. I believe a rocket headshot deals 300 damage or something crazy like that, so you shouldn't have a thing to worry about. So, there's a couple more enemy spawns right over here, and you can actually spy a BFG cell over the distance. So, let's go collect that, because for one thing, that causes that guy to appear right behind you, but a couple rockets should take care of him, no problemo. We don't get a super hefty amount of rockets in this entire level, but we do, in fact, get our BFG 9000 back, which, recollecting it, does cause those lost souls to appear over there, but the shotgun, pretty decent substitute for a machine gun and a chain gun in this situation at hand. I have a decent amount of chain gun ammo, so I might as well just use it against this, guys. I do appreciate the chain gun fan service we do get in the pits of hell. The thing you may have noticed so far about the weapons we've collected as well, it's a pretty subtle pattern, but one thing I kind of like about Doom 3's version of Hell is that it actually gives you the exact same weapon roster as the classic Doom game. So Doom 1, in other words. That's a nice little mythology gag right there. Like I said, probably a little difficult to notice unless you're really paying attention to what you're collecting, but again, I very much appreciate that gesture right there. It's a shame that we don't get a double-barreled shotgun in this game, but that's just simply because by the time we do get to a game that has a double-barreled shotgun, it's just overpowered. I believe it's a weapon in Resurrection of Evil, I want to say, the expansion pack for this game. Also available in the expansion pack that's exclusive to the BFG edition of Doom 3. And when I say that weapon is overpowered, I do mean it's overpowered. Like, if you thought the original classic super shotgun was ludicrous, you have not seen the one in Doom 3. I'm just gonna leave it at that. So here's a giant meat cage room. I guess this is where all the processed meat goes for them to make sure it doesn't have any blemishes or diseases on it so the demons can feast upon the souls of the damned. And, well, this is where they kind of store the bodies. So if you want to get a good look of what this is like on your next trip to hell, hey, be sure to keep an eye out for that one. So, let's just take a look. I don't think there's very much in the way of ammunition packs around here. If there would be more rockets, that would be incredibly pleasing to me, although I don't think I'm going to be so lucky this time. At least we still have plenty more chain gun ammo to relieve me of my stress. And I'm going to be using the chain gun because another one of these doors, located right behind it, is a demon. Specifically, a Mancubus. And this fat slob shooting you in the face as soon as you open the door up is very, very inconsiderate, and you may die. So here's a corridor where there is another Mancubus straight around. And I hate this one because this is, again, another instance where the developers decided that there's a certain enemy spawn condition to only work if you don't mess around with the Mancubus first. So, this might not go incredibly smoothly because, again, it's going to be cherubs we're facing off against. One over there. I'm just going to use my rocket launcher and sort of stand in this corner and just hope I survive. That's the idea behind this. So, get rid of you, and I missed. Lovely. Well, that's 5 cherubs, 6 cherubs, still going. But, thankfully, you can sort of retreat a little bit if that area is a bit too scary for you. I just kind of wanted to make sure I would get as many kills as possible without this guy overshadowing them. And there you are. That's one of the worst enemy spawns out of the way. And this is probably, again, the worst enemy placement in the entire level. Right around that corner over there is a Hell Knight. And if you stand in the middle of the path, or hug the right wall, he throws a fireball right out of the darkness because he instantly spawns once you cross a certain trigger. And that may very well just instantly kill you because Hell Knights are overpowered. However, if you hug the left wall, and simply cause him to spawn, you have a little more of a fighting chance. So just do what I did and you should make it out A-okay. We're actually closing in towards the end of the level. Hell is not too lengthy of a level, but due to the presence of many Mancabuses and Hell Knights, it's just definitely one of the scarier ones to face. Anyway, let's move on. Mosey up here. Encounter another door.
For every step you take, your soul moves closer to me.
And listen to Bedruger say, "Your soul moves closer to me." A very nice view of the hellscape in this area. Once again, I do like the fire and brimstone motif of this entire level. It's one of the nicer looking levels of the whole game, and it really screams Doom for me, personally.
Suffering and pain waits for you.
Waits for me, you say? Well, the presence of a large stash of ammunition. I wonder if this means we're going to be facing off against an incredibly tough enemy. Nah, perish the thought. By the way, here's a final secret in the game which I only discovered by no clipping, and I'm actually going to make a quick save so I don't miss it, because if you just carefully shimmy around this teleporter, there's a little secret compartment back here that contains a BFG 9000. So, if you haven't used your BFG yet, or you want a chance to use it, there you go. You got a pretty decent supply of ammo for it, and I think I'm maybe going to use it a little bit against the boss of this place, so let's enter the portal and see what awaits us.
Save us.
My guardian will destroy you.
Encounter Hell's Guardian. This is the boss fight of Hell. It is an incredibly large blind beast that seeks to destroy you with its hooves, or cast out a set of fireballs which can kill you relatively quickly. And you want to be sprinting away from this guy as much as possible, just sort of very calmly strafe out of the way if any of his fireballs are crossing your path. And the Soul Cube, which is a prisoner currently, will be very quick to inform you to destroy the Seekers, and that will make the Guardian vulnerable. So as soon as you do that, that will cause a little light bulb to appear above its head, and you just want to shoot that with pretty much any of your weapons. And if you time your shots just right, believe it or not, you can kill this boss in 2 BFG shots, which is pretty ridiculous and one of my favorite ways to deal with the boss, if not somewhat irritating, because just getting the timing down pat can be a little bit tricky at times. The Seekers are definitely the most annoying part of this boss. I like the concept behind it, but because we have a chain gun, it's just not the most accurate weapon. The rocket launcher I would recommend the most when actually shooting at the boss to destroy it, because the rockets deal quite a bit amount of damage to its vulnerable light bulb, and any moment now, we should be just about done. I think after perhaps this phase, if I fire just a few more rockets, then we should be pretty much just Jim Dandy, as they would say. However, it's taken some time. These Seekers are really loving to embarrass me, because my chain gun is not the most adequate weapon to use at an accurate distance. I just want to make sure that guy is in my line of sight, and let's get rid of this bastard once and for all. Look at that! It's my little cube! Hello!
We are many. We are one. We are the Brilliant Thor. You know us as the Soul Cube. Free us from our eternal prison, and we will help you. Vanquish our enemies, and we grow stronger. Listen for our call, and then free us to smite down the evil.
Cool. I've always wanted an evil smiting device, and now I finally have one. Enter the teleporter.
Destroying evil gives us life and makes us stronger. Unleash us when you hear our call. We will pass the life force of those we slay to you. We foresee a great battle. The outcome is not clear. We are the only way to destroy Hell's mightiest warrior.
Exposition. Yada yada yada. You probably get it. This is the Soul Cube, and we unfortunately do not have much of an opportunity to use it in this level because we have pretty much reached the end of it. Mysteriously enough, the teleporter is now going to work because we defeated Hell's Guardian and recollected the Soul Cube, so let's go ahead, activate the teleporter sequence, and return to the base.